Today is June 30, 2025, and that means that we are on the cusp of honey flow here. It's been a pretty good June as far as honey flow goes. We often get a dearth. We sometimes get a bit of a flow. This June has been pretty decent as far as maintaining the bees. I haven't had to feed the bees in June. The honey flow that we have had has kept up to the bees' needs or a little better. I see a little bit of surplus of nectar in the hives. Now, they haven't produced, honey supers of honey by any means, but that's going to be soon. And one of the things that that catches me off guard after 10 years still is the beginning of honey flow, because it starts really fast. It just comes on in a matter of a day or two. So today I'm going to go around here to my doubles. I'm going to shake them down, and I'm going to add some honey supers to them. There's quite a few singles here, but I'm just requeening these little guys, so that I'm going to leave those alone, and the doubles will get honey supers, and I'll shake them down to singles. So what I want to show you here today is just my method. Everybody has their favorite method. I'm inherently lazy, so I tend to find the path of least resistance and the least number of steps. So that came up on the forums recently. I was taking part in a discussion. Somebody was asking about different things, and so I tried to describe how I do it, but I don't think I did a very good job. And I thought, it'd be really good to have a video that I could refer a person to. Not that my way is the best way, just one way, and it's a way that has some nuances that I don't see other people doing. So I just like to help people maybe not work as hard as they might otherwise have to. So I'll set up this and we'll get to it. Now I can wear my sunglasses for this because I don't have to look for eggs and larvae. It's not a bad time to do a queen check, but I can usually tell if there's anything dramatically going wrong. I didn't even start my smoker, so we'll see how this goes. Now I see people doing this in many different ways. One way is to lift this heavy box. It maybe isn't that heavy, but it could be. Sometimes it's full of honey already. Lift the heavy box off, put a fixture on here, some kind of a funnel tote system. Some people just use an empty box, and then pull the frames one at a time, shake them off into here. Now, if you're going to do that, you really should have a bottom. So set the box on an upside down lid or something, because the queen could be in there and you could brush her off as you pull frames. The method I use here, that is not an issue. Plus, I only have to lift the heavy box once, and I'll demonstrate to show you what I mean. So, as usual, you want to eyeball to make sure the queen isn't on your lid, and I'll set that aside. So what I do simply is I'll just start at the end or at the beginning. Just all a matter of perspective. I'll pull a frame. The first one is the worst, right? Now here, what I've got here is I've got a feed frame. I don't want that in my honey super, so I'll set that aside and replace it with something else. So again, I'm checking for the queen. I don't need to find the queen, but if I see her, then I'm done shaking. I can just transfer the frames, because I don't need to relieve the frame of all the bees. I need to make sure the queen is in the bottom box. Some of these little spotty, they maybe should be requeened as well. They're growing nicely, so I'm going to leave them alone for now. I can requeen them at the end of the honey flow. And just a quick look for the queen. And I can also now check these cups. There's a lot of little cups here, which is what they'll do this time of year. It's just habit to take them out. It doesn't really do anything. And also, an empty cup is nothing, in my opinion. A loaded cup, that's a different story. But that's a video for another day. Yeah, they're growing, but they're struggling a little bit. So we'll get them through the next 6 weeks. And that's a beautiful frame of open larvae. So you see that kind of thing, the queen could be nearby. It's the same thing on that side. So what's the purpose here? The purpose is I want to run singles. You get more honey that way. And it's easier. There's a lot of benefits. And again, that's a different video. There's my queen. Nice big green dot. So I can just pick her up. Just like that. Left-handed even. I know something you do not know. I'm not left-handed. She's gone down. And now these, I don't have to shake these. I am going to shake that because it's got syrup on it. So we'll replace that. Boy, they didn't appreciate that one. Holy smokes. We could put some of these syrup frames back in the bottom. I should have my smoker, really. Because I can pull brood frames into the second box at this point. Okay, crack the box. Now, normally I would just throw my queen excluder on there and then put this box right on top. And that's super easy. But on this one, I'm actually going to check. I can kind of see. I want to get frames that don't have any syrup in them. It's got no syrup. How many did I take? Wow, there's 4 of them there. Maybe I don't want to do this. Make sure they have no queen cells. A couple of cups. Just like the look in them. Okay, so I'm not going to go and put all 4 of those syrup frames. She needs some space in this box still. Since it's a single, I'll put this one here. And so now I've lifted each one of those frames once, but I haven't lifted the full box before now. So there we go. That's our honey super. I need to find 3 more. 2 more I could put in there because I could run 9 frames in this. I will run 9 frames in this. So I'll put 2 nice fresh honeycombs in here for them to start on. And I want to show you a gadget I use. People will say, oh, it takes too much time. Watch people do this. It doesn't take extra time, but it is an extra piece of equipment to kind of keep track of in the bee yard. This is a 9-frame spacer. It's the stainless steel model. I have the plastic models. Don't waste your money. These do cost a bit of money, but you can space 9 frames as quickly as that, right? I see people do this and they'll say that takes too much time, and yet they'll still be fussing with that. even now. So now I have a box. This is a box of foundation, to be honest. I'm going to start. I have 9 frames of foundation, and whenever I run foundation, I want to run 10 frames to keep them tighter so they draw it a little more reliably. And that's it. And that's the way I do my shakedowns. Now, you can do shakedown for many reasons. I'm doing it, of course, like I say, because I want to run singles. We're coming to honey flow. I want to get them back into singles, turn that into honey super, and let them build up. And you can also do shakedowns if you're using queen excluder to make a split. You can shake the bees off and put your queen excluder. There's many different reasons. So I hope that helps. And I've got to get at this because I think it's going to rain. And I need to do quite a few of these. Okay, the sky's closing in on me, so I better get to work. Thanks for watching. It's Thursday, July the 3rd, 2025. I'm still recovering from Tuesday. Tuesday, my wife and I did a market, a Canada Day market. It was a lot of fun. We sold really well. We got home, my wife and I, about 1 a.m. And, you know, we're kind of old and that really takes a toll. So yesterday wasn't too bad, but I'm feeling the tiredness here today for sure. Yesterday was a treat. And again, I had somebody here, and when there's other people here, quite often I don't do a video because I want to respect their time and certainly their privacy. I had a gentleman from Britain here, and he's a relative of the owner of one of the stores that I service in the area. And they asked me, anticipating his visit, him and his wife, anticipating his visit, they asked, could he come and visit, because he's a beekeeper in Britain. So he came by yesterday afternoon. We spent a couple hours just showing him around here. And I mean, bees are bees, but we looked in a few colonies, kind of talked about where the season is at and what I expect. And then what we got into doing is we actually got into checking the mating nukes that are, you know, at the stage where you could check for eggs. We checked a lot, which is great. He did half my work for me. So checking mating nukes, it can get a bit tiring and hard on the back standing there too, but it's like Christmas morning. Every one you open up is potentially a really awesome gift wrapped up in the form of eggs and milk brood, etc. So I want to show you one of these. I've got one of these open. You can just barely see it here because I've mentioned in past about queen rearing here that my mating success in July is off the charts. It's almost 100%. And I know it's only the 3rd of July, but I think my mating success has risen dramatically, and the speed at which they mate. I have in the past checked a mating nuke, looked at the larva and sometimes a sealed brood, and done the math and counted back and realized that that queen was laying 2 days after I introduced her to that colony. And I introduced them to the colony within hours of their emergence from the cell. And no word of a lie. Math does not lie. You can do the math on that. You can easily see eggs, larvae. Over time, you get familiar with what a 4, 5, 6 day old larva looks like. So you can calculate that down to within 2 or 3 days for sure. And this is kind of what we were seeing here. I introduced these virgin queens. This virgin queen that I'm going to show you, she ain't a virgin no more. And I introduced this round. It's 16 or 17 days ago now. And I'll show you what I found into this one hive. And this is probably the most stark example, but it's certainly not the only one that sort of looks like this. I'll show you. And one thing David mentioned a few times, and David was the man from Britain, very nice man. We compared a lot of beekeeping stories and stats and processes and whatnot. Is he couldn't get over how gentle the bees are. He'd pull out a frame of bees and the bees were just so calm on the frame. I've already checked this one because I wanted to find the one that we had looked at earlier yesterday. So again, this queen was introduced to this mating nuc. I'm going to say 17 days ago. And so what you know about your life cycle is egg lay to emergence is 21 days, capping to emergence is about 12 to 13. And so anything that was sealed brood here when I made up this nuc would be emerged. So there would be no sealed brood left. And I suppose if I were to have put a frame of eggs in here, then those eggs would have hatched and they would be sealed brood now. So let's have a look. Look at this frame. This is a slab of brood coming out of a mating nuc. And I think if I had put eggs or young larvae, like unsealed brood, in here in 17 days, it would probably have been emerging from the center, which it's not. I am really led to believe that this queen has laid this. And the crazy thing is that it's almost as full on the other side. This queen has really gotten down to business. She knows where the rubber hits the road. And there's more sealed brood there. So I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. I see eggs in the empty cells. Yeah, so maybe my math is off and I'm looking at, there is open sealed brood there. I'm looking at sealed frames that I put in here. I don't know. I kind of don't think so, but that's really fast. It's really fast. But 17 days, I know I have very well in the past, I very well know that I have seen them lay easily within 3 days of introduction. So she laid within days of introduction. In 17 days, she can lay a lot. And not only that, but it only takes eight days to cap those frames. So that's twice as long as it takes to cap brood. So I'm led to believe that this is genuine. So this one, I think I should get a gold star. This is the real powerhouse. I have seen them though mate and lay so fast and then peter out, and then they're no good in a month. So maybe it's a flash in the pan. We don't know. All right, I'm going to quit messing with these because we've already checked them. So we put this, of course, the UK, he says we'll put a tick mark. I call it a check mark, but put a tick mark on there when we see eggs or signs of laying for sure. I have a lot of non-apiary work to do today. And these days have been warm, have been very warm. I think yesterday was 30, 32, and today is going to be in the low 30s C. And again, warmer in a lot of other places in the world, but that's pretty warm for us. And it gets pretty humid it gets difficult to work. So I'm gonna say have fun, and thanks for watching.